Hello everybody, this is Crowbar Animation and welcome to my personal review on the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So, before we start, if you like what you see on the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. But now let's dive into what this movie has to offer. By the way, we will not be talking about any spoilers for the movie. Now, for the question everybody's wondering, was this movie good? And in my opinion, yes, it was a very enjoyable movie. Now, I can't really say much without spoiling anything, but they did kind of take a different approach to how Mike interacted with the animatronics, but they still did a really good job with it. Now, I will say, one thing that brought the movie to life for me was the use of practical effects for the animatronics. They look spot on to their video game counterparts. And I don't think the movie would have been as good or realistic if they had used CGI instead of real animatronics. Now, one thing I was worried about was Carl Cupcake, because in the trailers he seemed a little unrealistic and a little bit cheesy. But in the movie, while I didn't think he was scary, I took him seriously enough to think, wow, that's actually really cool. And there's a couple scenes with Carl that were definitely a little bit unrealistic. But I think they did a really good job with him overall. Also, another thing I was worried about, I was worried that Carl was pretty much going to take the place of Chica. I was thinking that in the movie, Chica would just be the one carrying Carl around and taking him to the places where he would kill people and stuff. But I do feel like Chica and Carl got a pretty good amount of runtime. It's not like one got more than the other, and it wasn't like one was superior than the other. Also, I actually would have liked to see a little more Carl because he was actually pretty entertaining to watch. Now, a lot of people were complaining that the movie was going to be PG-13 and there wasn't going to be any gore or anything like that in it, which I say, you're wrong. Basically, they did the kills so creatively. There were R-rated kills in the movie, but the way they showed it, that's how they kept it PG-13. There was times in the theater where people would get killed and the entire theater would go silent because it was just absolutely brutal, but they showed it in such a creative way that it didn't get the movie an R rating. So I think they did a really good job with that. Now, there were a lot of references and Easter eggs in the movie, and I really liked it. Some of the references were really small, but there were some Easter eggs that were awesome. I can guarantee you that some of those Easter eggs costed a ton of time, money, and effort to put in the movie just for it to be there for 30 seconds. I have to give prompts to Universal Blumhouse and Scott Cawthon for putting all this time, money, and effort into these Easter eggs, and it just made the movie that much better. And the ending was absolutely amazing, and I don't want to say anything about it because I don't want to spoil it for those who have yet to see the ending yet. But it is magical and it's nostalgic, and I think you guys will enjoy it very much. As for the acting, I thought everyone did a really good job. I didn't think there was anyone who underperformed or overperformed, but I will say that I really did enjoy Matthew Lillard's William Afton, and I hope we see more of him in future Five Nights at Freddy's projects. Now, if we were going to go over everything I loved about this movie, we'd be here all day, so let's focus on what Rotten Tomatoes had to say about the film. Now, critics only gave the movie a 25%, which is extremely low, but audiences have given it an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes so far, which is actually really good. Now, a lot of the critics complained that the story was very confusing and there's a lot of things left out that were unexplained. Well, as for the story, I felt like it was pretty easy to follow. Even though I'm a FNAF fan, I'm pretty sure a normal person could follow it pretty easily. But as for the parts that were left out, I believe those are yet to be filled in for future sequels or possibly even prequels. So yeah. And that's about all I have to say about this movie. It was really fun, it was really enjoyable, it seemed well made, and I would highly recommend seeing this in a movie theater if you get the chance. It's just a completely different feeling, and it feels much more magical in a huge cinema and seeing Freddy on the big screen. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is Crowbar Animation out, and have a great day.